We concluded chapter 9 in the last class, and today we are supposed to start with chapter 10. Again, this chapter is also from the Bhakti Yoga part of the Bhagavad Gita, and this chapter is called as Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti, this is the Sanskrit name of this chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means opulence, and is also called as Vibhuti Vistar Yoga. Vistar means expansion or detailed description. So when Krishna is describing about his own opulence, this is chapter which is dealing with opulence of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada gave it the name Opulence of the Absolute. This chapter, although in last chapter we studied how it is important to do pure devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, in this chapter we understand more in detail about the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Actually, this knowledge which we are getting is in sequel. See, when Krishna told this knowledge to Arjun, he didn't tell Arjun that, look, Arjun, I am telling you chapter 2 now. Now I am finishing chapter 2, now chapter 3. Now I am telling chapter 4. No. It was a straight single talk. So while Krishna is telling about surrendering unto him, he is also telling about his opulence. So let us read from text number 1. Sachidanand Prabhu, can you read?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained."
So what Krishna is telling, what I am going to tell you now is better than what I have already explained. How we can understand this is better than what Krishna has explained? Because this knowledge will further substantiate the importance of process of devotional service. This process is further encourages to practice devotional service. Therefore, this chapter is very important. And we understand that there is no other alternative than to surrender to the Supreme Lord. We cannot neglect the Supreme Lord. In this chapter, we will see how Krishna is present in every aspect of this world. So how can we neglect him? So knowing the greatness of Krishna means becoming more fixed in the devotional practice. So therefore Krishna is saying, look Arjun, for your benefit, I am going to tell you this great knowledge about my opulences. And once you know this, you should understand this is the highest knowledge which I am giving. So we can tell that, oh, Krishna is telling in every chapter this highest, this highest. We have to understand he is giving the grades. Systematically, Krishna is taking Arjun on the higher and higher level. So what he spoke in 7th chapter was highest till 7th chapter. Then 8th chapter it was higher than that. 9th chapter higher than that. And now Krishna is further giving the knowledge. And it is for the benefit of the hearer. Therefore Krishna is saying, listen again. I am giving you this knowledge. You should listen it again. And what should be the qualification? The qualification is, you are my dear friend. This is the qualification. We have also studied this in previous chapters, that how if somebody is not envious of the Supreme Lord and somebody is devotee of the Supreme Lord, then he can receive this knowledge. So when we hear this knowledge, then we become more fixed in our devotional service. Usha Mataji, can you read this quote?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all 6 opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parasmuni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now, in this chapter, he explained his specific opulences to Arjuna.
So we know that there are 6 main opulences of the Supreme Lord. Can anybody share what are the 6 opulences of the Supreme Lord? 6 main opulences of the Supreme Lord?
All knowledgeable.
Okay, one by one. Okay, so he is the supreme knowledgeable person. He is the source of all knowledge. Okay, that's one. Okay, Radha Kripa Katakshi Mataji.
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Although he is the Lord and Master of the all world, but still he is not attached. He is the highest level of renunciation. Yes, Nishtha Mataji.
All beauty.
He is all beautiful. Not that he becoming old, his teeth are shaking, and he is to go to doctor for plastic surgery. No, he is always very beautiful. Nava Yovanam cha. Yes, Arun Charan Prabhu.
He is all powerful, strength.
All powerful. He is the most powerful person. In the age of 7, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Yes, Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu. Okay, Rasamrit Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji, Narotmanam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Krishna is all knowledgeable.
Knowledge already discussed.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, all famous.
Yeah, he's all famous. Even if he does stealing, then also he's famous. If he runs away with others' wives, then also he is famous. So everything he does, he is all glorious. That is Krishna. Anything remaining? All 6 covered. Now, who know the shloka in Sanskrit about these 6 opulences? Anyone? This is a very important verse. Actually, this is given in Vishnu Puran, and Parashar Muni quoted it in his presentation. I am sending it on the group. So you can remember this verse. It can be helpful in your preaching. Because otherwise you don't have to, remember, okay, 1 is done, 2nd is done, what is missing? You all will miss. If you remember the verse, you'll never forget. Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashashasriya jnana vairagyayachaiva shanam iti bhagakana. Aishwarya means opulence. Aishwarya means wealth. Samagrasya, he is having all wealth. Viryasya means power. He is all powerful. Yashasa Shriya, Yash means fame. Shriya means beauty. Jnana Vairagyayascha. Jnana means knowledge, and Vairagya means renunciation. So these makes the 6. Shanan means 6. Bhaga Gana. These are called Bhaga. And one who has these 6 opulences full is called Bhagavan. Like we say Rupavan. Rupavan means one who has Rupa, beauty. Vidwan, one who has Vidya. Balavan, one who has Bal, Shakti, power. In the same way, Bhagavan means one who has the 6 Bhaga. And these 6 Bhaga is given in this verse. So I've shared on the group. Devotees can refer there. So Krishna is displaying these 6 opulences, that is for sure. But there are unlimited opulences which Krishna has. These are the 6 main broad categories. But now Krishna will go in the intricacies of his qualities, which we will see in this chapter. So this chapter is divided into 3 parts. First part, Krishna is describing in the first 7 verses how he is the origin of everything. It seems that this is Krishna's hobby to tell this, because almost in every chapter he tells. In Bhagavatam also he tells. So Krishna will tell how is the origin of everything. Then Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. Chatur Shloki means 4 verses. Whole Bhagavad Gita is summarized in 4 verses: 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 10.11. These 4 verses will come 8 to 11, and then last Krishna will give list of his opulences. One after another, he will just keep on telling his opulences. Now somebody may say, why I need to hear from Krishna? In first verse, Krishna is telling, hear from me, hear from me. I can Google it also. I can ask somebody else. Why I should hear from Krishna? Krishna is clarifying it in the next verse. He is saying, Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshaya. It's not that anybody can know me. No, it's very difficult to know Krishna. Rasamrit Prabhu, can you read the translation for second verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages.
So because I am the source of sages, I am the source of demigods, how they will know me? Father knows everything about the child, but not necessarily child knows everything about the father. That is not possible. So here Krishna is directly saying that demigods and great sages cannot know me, because there are 2 ways, 2 things we have to understand. Scholarship and renunciation, they are not the real qualities to know Krishna. Like demigods are very qualified, they are very pious, and sages are very renunciate. But then also, no, they cannot understand the Supreme Lord by these materialistic qualities. Then how we can know him? Only one method: when he reveals himself. That is the only way. Like when we can see the sun, when sun rises in the morning. If we tell that no, now night time only I want to see the sun, not possible. So in the same way, only Krishna reveals himself, then only we can know him. And to whom Krishna reveals? Krishna reveals himself only to the surrendered devotees. What will happen to us? We are neither devotees nor Krishna. How we can understand? We are so fortunate that we are getting chance to read conversation between Krishna and his pure devotee. That is our fortune. We are not qualified, but we are fortunate to witness, we are fortunate to read, study the conversation between his pure devotee and Krishna himself. So that is our main credit, that we are able to understand and read about Krishna. Let us read this quote. Kripalu Keshavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Although he is not known even to the demigods, even to the great sages, he can be known to you at your home. Ajita Jitopi Asi, although he is conquerable if you adopt this process. So we have to try to adopt the process only. Otherwise, if you don't adopt the process, there is no alternative. You cannot know, because greater personalities than us in the human society, the devas, the suragana means the demigods, they cannot know.
So Prabhupada is saying that what cannot be achieved by great sages, by great demigods, that we can get sitting at our home delivery. How is it possible? This is special mercy. This is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This is the mercy of the process of Krishna consciousness. And even while sitting at home, we are getting this opportunity to know about the Supreme Lord, who is inaccessible even to the demigods and sages. Venudhari Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here's the Lord indirectly says that if anyone wants to know the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme. One should know this. Although one cannot understand the unconceivable Lord who is personally present, he nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
So we don't need to speculate. He himself is telling about him in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and in such detail. We just need to read these scriptures and understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Krishna is extending that point where Krishna is told that I am the source of all sages, I am the source of all demigods, and he's continuing that theme of how he's the source of all different attributes of this material nature. Yes, Namrasita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Namaskar. Prabhu, the demigods, they are also impersonalists sometimes, some of them.
Demigods can't be impersonalists because they're serving Krishna, because they're representing his governance on the universe. So demigods can't be impersonalists.
Okay. So Prabhu, there's a line in second verse only. It is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam also it is clearly said that even the great demigods are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limits of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the
Now here they doesn't mean only demigods. Here they means any materialistic person who is trying to understand Lord by mental speculation. Because Prabhupada is ending it that by foolish speculation. So Prabhupada will not call demigods foolish here. So that context has ended. Prabhupada is telling it is in the context of anyone who try to understand with their imperfect senses. Their endeavor is foolish. Like sometimes demigods get misled. They may not understand Supreme Lord as impersonal, but sometimes they can't understand the incarnations of the Lord. Like we see in the case of Indra, so many times he get illusioned. He fought with Prithu Maharaj. He disturbed Brajvasis in Krishna Leela so many times. So he even offended Kapil Muni. So there are so many instances where demigods get illusioned, but they are never impersonalists. Okay.
Thank you.
So let us continue with verse 3. Krishna is further telling how he is the source of everything. Yo mam ajam anadim cha vitti loka maheshwaram asammoda samriddeshu sarva papai pramuchyate. Krishna is telling what is the result of knowing me. So Devi Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins.
How is it possible? Just by knowing Krishna, one is free from all sinful activities. Any thoughts? How just by knowing Krishna will be free from all sinful activities? How is it possible? Any thoughts? Huh? Yes, Bharat Krishna Prabhu.
That we would understand our position in the first place, that who we are. We would understand that we are in this material world, that we don't belong here. We belong to this in the spiritual world. So Krishna is describing to us who he is and how we should follow his instructions and get out of here. Hare Krishna Babu.
Yes, once we realize that this is not our home, we no longer take it very seriously. And we try to go back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, Amal Arjun Prabhu?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Danda Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when we know about the greatness or supremacy of the Lord, we will know our insignificance. And once we, why that's a problem? Only when we try to laud our material nature, and once we think that we are great and we are the best and we are in control of everything, will all these sinful activities and sense gratification aspects will come into our mind and our activities. And once we know about our insignificance, that's when the humility kicks in. And when the humility kicks in, that opens the door for spiritual progression and Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Like when we try to exploit this world, when we think that we are big, we are very great. Like you see apple, how do you feel? Let me eat it. Now imagine a 20 feet apple. Will you try to enjoy the 20 feet apple? By seeing that, you'll see, wow, so big apple. You will get amazed. You can't think of enjoying it also. So when you see something great, natural tendency is to surrender. And when we come to know about the greatest person, then why we will not surrender? Any sensible person will surrender. So that way, person is free from all sins. Yes, Saurabh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, as Krishna said in chapter 4, verse 36, that by by the knowledge, with the knowledge, a person can can cross this material world. If he knows the divine knowledge. So once he knows Krishna, which is itself a source of all the divine knowledge, so then the person crosses this material world.
Yes. The process, see, the way of coming out of ignorance is knowledge. The reason for the cycle of sinful activities, we will study this in Nectar of Devotion. And we'll see how the cycle of sinful activities start from avidya, ignorance. That is the root of all sinful activities. And what is the opposite of avidya? Vidya, knowledge. So if we get knowledge of the Supreme Lord, then the cycle of sinful activities only that get broken. So we'll study this in detail in Nectar of Devotion. Now Krishna is talking about different important qualities which comes from Krishna himself. So he is telling some important aspects. Keshav Priya Mataji, can you read this quote?
Hare Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything. Now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops them himself from within. One who engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord develops all the good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord.
So now Krishna is going to talk about some important qualities which are favorable to Krishna consciousness. And Krishna, because in previous chapters we already seen how Krishna is the source of material creation. Now Krishna is going more subtle. He is going into qualities. How different qualities also come from Krishna. So Krishna is quoting this. Buddhi, intelligence comes from Krishna. Jnanam, knowledge comes from Krishna. Asammoha. Sammoha means illusion or doubt. Asammoha means no doubt. Shama, forgiveness. Satyam, truthfulness. Dama, control of senses. Shama, control of mind. Sukham, happiness. Dukham, distress. Bhava, birth. Abhava, death. Bhayam, fear. Abhayam, fearlessness. Ahimsa, non-violence. samata, equilibrium, tushti, satisfaction, tapa, penance, danam, charity, yasha, fame, ayasha, infamy. So let us see this one by one, these very important qualities which Krishna is discussing here. And we can also see,
okay.
Sorry, I'm just muting everyone. Okay. So we can see these qualities one by one. And as you read them, also try to analyze how different devotees display these qualities. You have studied so many examples from scriptures. So we can analyze how different devotees are displaying these qualities. First, intelligence. Prabhupada is giving definition of intelligence. What is intelligence? Power to analyze things in proper perspective. What is wrong? What is right? That is intelligence. Any example from scriptures? A devotee got intelligence, then he could analyze, yes, this should be done, this should not be done. Before he was confused. Then he got intelligence from the mercy of Krishna, then he could easily analyze. Any example from scripture?
Kapila.
Huh?
Kapila. Dhruva Maharaj.
No. Dhruva was not confused.
Arjuna himself, Prabhuji.
Arjuna himself. He was confused before about his duty. He got intelligence from the Supreme Lord. He got power to analyze what is right, what is wrong. And that's how he could take the decision. Okay, second, Jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge means distinction between matter and spirit, not academic knowledge. So a devotee who was not having any knowledge, by mercy of Lord, he became full of knowledge. A small boy, Prahlad, Dhruv. Actually, Dhruv was so innocent. When Lord came in front of Dhruva, he was not even knowing what to offer prayers. Then Supreme Lord touches his conch shell to Dhruva's head. And then Dhruva got all the spiritual knowledge. And then Dhruva recited wonderful prayers in the offering to the Supreme Lord. Okay, next. Asammoha. Freedom from doubt and delusion. Prabhupada is saying it can be achieved when one acts without hesitation based on transcendental philosophy. When one understands this, he has no doubt. Yes, Varat Krishna Prabhu wants to say something.
Yeah, I mean, Arjuna himself at the end says, now I'm free from these doubts and delusion.
Nashta moha smritir labdha. Arjuna says, my moha is now vanished and I have regained my knowledge. And also in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see Krishna says that Krishna Surasam Maya Andakar. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no doubt. Srimad Bhagavatam says a devotee is so confident about following the injunctions of the scriptures that even if he run with closed eyes, he will not fall. In practice, have you practiced any time running with closed eyes? Maybe in an open field. Krishna is saying in Bhagavatam, it is told, 11th canto, if you run with closed eyes, you will not fall. This is following scripture. It's not blind following. But since we know that these scriptures are faultless, if we follow them, there cannot be any problem. Next, tolerance and...
Can we say Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya?
Yes, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, yes. That's one example also. Okay, next, forgiveness. Tolerance and forgiveness. Where a devotee, yes, Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces and he's praying for the same people who were beating him. That my Lord, please protect them. Yes, Shri Radha Kripa Kataksh Mataji.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Yes, very nice example. Somebody tried to kill you and you're forgiving him. Here Ambarish Maharaj was, Durvasa Muni tried to kill Ambarish, and Lord released his Sudarshan Chakra to punish Durvasa. So Ambarish didn't say that, now you got your lesson. Remember, I am greater devotee than you. You may be a sannyasi, I am grihastha, but then also you should respect me. No. Ambarish forgiven Durvasa Muni. Any other example? Prahlad Maharaj, yes. Prahlad Maharaj. He was tortured by his father, but later he prayed for his father only to Lord Nrsimhadev. Yes, Amar Arjun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I can think of Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada fits in all of them.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, he was tolerating everyone to give Krishna,
Yes, he's tolerating me in his movement. So Prabhupada is fitting in all the qualities. Then Satyam, truthfulness, Prabhupada is describing it, that truth means presentation should be very, very clear without any adulteration of personal interest. It should be factual presentation. That is truth. Yes, we should speak palatable, but not that we sacrifice, we compromise with truth. Any example? Yes.
Sutta Goswami.
Sutta Goswami. Okay. Yes, Sutta Goswami. How Sutta Goswami?
Sutta Goswami is presenting what he has heard from Shukadeva Goswami as it is.
Okay, in that sense, yes. Okay.
All the sages.
Okay, but telling truth without fear. Any example? Yes, Varat Krishna Prabhu.
Well, the whole Bhagavatam is about truthfulness.
Yes. It's about absolute truth. It's about the absolute truth. Prahlad Maharaj, yes. Look at the child, 5-year-old boy. He's standing in front of Hiranyakashipu, who has conquered the demigods. And Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad, what did you learn in school? What Prahlad is saying? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam. And before that, he's saying that, my dear father, you best of the demons, actually you are bound in your household life. You should give up this and go to Vrindavan and do Hari Bhajan. So much dearness in this small child. He is not disrespectful, but he is truthful. That is a devotee. Okay, Dhamma, control of senses. A devotee carries on his service. He is not using his senses for sense gratification. Any example?
Sukadev Goswami.
Yes, Sukadev Goswami, who is so above this material contamination. He doesn't have even distinction between male and female. He is such a self-controlled sage. Hanumanji, yes. Hanumanji goes to Lanka. He is brahmachari. He sees all these beautiful ladies whom Ravan has captured, but still doesn't get affected because he has complete control on his senses. Yes. Any other example? Bharat Krishna Prabhu?
Ramanan Rai.
Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur, yes. He was tested by the prostitute, but he was completely in control. Anisha Mataji, you said one example?
Ramanan Rai.
Yes, Ramanand Rai. Yes, you elaborate?
He was dressing the girls and he wasn't affected at all.
Yes, they were Devadasis of Jagannath temple, and he would decorate them, he would teach them how to dance in front of Lord Jagannath, but he is still not affected. There is another example in 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam of Devahuti. Devahuti serving Kardam Muni, and how completely surrendered to the service. He was oblivious to the demands of her body. So we study so many examples like that. Okay, Control of mind, sama, where a devotee restrain mind from unnecessary thoughts, because this mind is meant to think about Krishna. So we don't waste this energy in sense gratification. Rather, we engage our mind in the instructions of the spiritual master, instruction of the scriptures. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kariya Aikya Arana Kariho Mane Asha. We sing it every day. Our mind should be absorbed in the instructions of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So this is also wonderful quality in devotee. Okay, next. Okay, any example? All devotees fit in this example. Control of mind. Because one cannot be devotee without, yes?
Hare Krishna. Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Yeah, Bhakti Siddhanta, yes.
Because he ate a mango once when he was a child, but then after that he didn't eat mango because it was not offered.
Right. Right. Yes. So he was so self-controlled. Yes, Sachi Maharani Mataji.
Pingala, Guruji, Pingala.
Yeah, Pingala. She realized, she got that realization later, that how her senses are not meant for this world and why she should waste her life. So yes, she was also very controlled. Haridas Thakur was self-controlled. Kulashekar Maharaj example Prabhupada gives, how he was so self-controlled. Yes.
Prabhu, once you had mentioned, I think it was Jiva Goswami who used to stay alone so that he could not, he was not involved in certain
Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri would stay alone so that he doesn't have to do prajalpa with anybody. He has a control on mind. Okay, next. One who is equipoised in happiness and distress. Because his happiness is when he can remember Krishna. Devotee's distress is when one cannot remember Krishna. So he always consider happiness and distress in relation to what is favorable and unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Yes, Shri Radha Kripa Kataksha Mataji.
Queen Kunti Devi.
Yes, Kunti Devi. She prays to Krishna that Krishna, these miseries are good because they help me remember you. So she prays for more and more miseries. Yes, Arun Charan Prabhu.
Jad Bharat.
Yes, Jad Bharat. Yes, he voluntarily accepted the life of being dumb and deaf because he don't want to get distracted. Amal Arjun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Lord Ram himself, Prabhuji, because Ramayana is like it talks about the uncertainties that are there. The next day, Lord Ram is supposed to get he's supposed to become the king of the kingdom of Ayodhya, and he was banished to the forest for 14 years. But he considered that everything is same, he didn't get excited or distressed about it.
Rather, you know what Lord Ram told to Kaushalya, his mother, when he went to his mother's room. Ram was so happy. He said, Mother, I have a good news to tell you. So Kaushalya said, What happened? I know you are going to become king. No. Bigger news. Previously, my father was just making king of Ayodhya. But you know what is greater news? Now he has given me kingdom of the forest.
Haribol.
That was Lord Ram. His character is so pure. Yeah. So next, fearlessness. How devotee is free from fear. He is not unnecessarily lamenting about the past. He is not unnecessarily worrying about the future. And why he's having this fearlessness? Because he is confident in the shelter of the Supreme Lord. He is engaged in the devotional service. So this fearlessness is only possible by Krishna consciousness. There's so many examples of fearlessness. Anyone? Any
Prabhu,
example?
Srila Prabhupada, his business was completely lost
Yes.
and still.
Srila Prabhupada fits in all these qualities. went alone, preached, without caring. I mean, can you imagine challenging the scientist in the Western world? Everything is so fearless. Yes. Any other example? Yes, Varat Krishna Prabhu.
Prahlad, I mean, Dhruv.
Prahlad was fearless. Dhruv was fearless. Yes. Sudevi Mataji.
Yeah, Bhakti Swami, without any fear, went to America.
Yes. Yeah, he went out and he carried Prabhupada's mode. Prabhupada in his last days told, I don't want to die in bed. Rather, I would just preach. So he carried the same mood. Yes. Who else? Somebody raised hand. Amal Arjun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Vibhishana.
Vibhishan was fearless. Yes. He knew that Ravan is so powerful. Then also he served Lord Ram. And he actually tried to give counsel to Ravan. That was also a fearlessness. And another person was fearless, Angad. When Angad went to Ravana's court, he places his foot and he challenges everyone. If anybody can move my foot, then Lord Ram will go back. Can you imagine such a situation he is putting forward in the court of Ravan? And he was praying inside, Lord Ram, please help me. I have told this, but you have to help me. So, like nobody could move his leg. And finally, when Ravan came, Ravan understood that, Angad understood that Ravan could move. Ravan was so powerful. So as Ravan bowed down and he was just about to move Angad's feet, Angad removed his feet. And he told, why are you bowing down in front of me? You bow down in front of Lord Ram. He's our master. And then he came. He took Ravana's crown and threw it out. So that is Angad. That level of fearlessness.
Prabhuji, Jatayu also. Jatayu,
yes. Jatayu fought with Ravan. Yes. Gajendra was he fearless? In misery, he remembered Lord.
He surrendered.
Yeah, he was surrendered, we can say. Rasamrit Prabhu?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Maybe fearlessness, Vidur.
Vidur was fearless, yes. He openly told Dhritarashtra that you should have killed Duryodhan in childhood only. He doesn't deserve to live, and he was very fearless, yes. Shri Radha Kripa Katakshi Mataji?
Bali Maharaj was fearless of rejecting his spiritual master.
Yes, Bali. Maharaj Bali, can you imagine? It was a great sacrifice for Bali, because we have to understand Bali was dead in fight while he was fighting with the demigods. And it was Shukracharya who made him alive using Sanjeevana Vidya. Right? Now, Bali knew that if I face that situation again, Shukracharya can give me life. But rejecting Shukracharya means actually he's giving up security of his life. It is a great, great symptom of fearlessness. That I don't care for my life. I don't care for anything. I just want to serve the Supreme Lord. Fearlessness. Okay, next, ahimsa, non-violence. Now, Prabhupada has a very, very unique definition of non-violence. Non-violence, generally we understand, not killing is non-violence. Yes, that is, of course, not killing is non-violence. But Prabhupada is saying, not checking anyone's progressive life is non-violence. We can't let anybody suffer in the material world. That is hinsa. That is violence. We have to help others in preaching. That means those who are not preaching, they are all automatically doing violence. Because they're not helping others, they're not letting others to progress in their spiritual life. So we have to understand, Prabhupada had this mood of ahimsa. Non-violence means helping others in their distress, helping others to progress in their spiritual life. Then samta, equanimity. One who is equipoised in opulence or in misery. One who is not attached to anything, neither he has aversion for anything. Any example?
Bharat.
Yes, Bharat was not attached. He has some aversion for Kekai, but it's okay. When Lord Ram told offer pranam to Kekai, he offered that also. Any other example?
Amrish Maharaj?
Amrish Maharaj, okay, yeah. Amrish Maharaj, when he was cursed, of course, when he was blessed by the service of the Supreme Lord, he was happy. But even when he saw Durvasa attacking on him, Amrish Maharaj didn't move even an inch to save himself. It is wrote in Bhagavatam. He didn't move little bit also. He was standing in the same place. That okay, if Lord wants this to happen to me, I am okay with it. So that is a devotee.
Prabhu,
Then,
Janak Maharaj.
yes, Janak Maharaj's example Krishna himself gives in Bhagavad Gita. That how he was saintly king, not affected. Yes?
Shiva's Acharya, when his
Shiva.
son was dead.
Yes.
He was affected.
Mataji has read Chetan Chaitamrita very nicely. Yes, Shiva's Thakur, his son was dead, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan at his home. So while in the inner chamber of his house, the ladies were crying, Shiva's Thakur went inside and told, if your sound of crying comes out of this room and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stops his Sankirtan because of your crying, then I will drown myself in Ganga. Here son has died. Now father is telling, I'll kill myself if you will cry. Later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went inside, saw the situation. And then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also made the boy alive and speak him for some time. At last, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Shivas, you have so dedication for my service. You have lost one son today, but from today, you have two children. One Nityanand Prabhu and one myself. We are your children from today. So this is Shivas Thakur's surrender to the Supreme Lord. Okay, next, satisfaction.
Prabhuji, number 9, Prabhuji.
Number 9 was, oh, sorry, I missed. He is free from Bhava, Bhava Sagar. Bhava Sagar means birth, old age, disease, death. But in short, it is called Bhava. Bhava means to happen. What to happen? Birth. Now, if birth will happen, then disease will also happen. Then old age will also happen. Then death will also happen. So, for a devotee, there is no Bhava. Apunar Bhava Darshanam. No Bhava. That means no birth. No birth means no old age, no disease, no death. He is spiritually situated. Okay. 13. Yeah, Arun Charan Prabhu.
Look, there is one question in this that you are saying that the devotee is at the stage of bhava, but when we are actually seeing with our material eyes, then we see all of these things happening with the devotee also. So, what exactly is to be understood from this?
See, we can understand it in two ways. One is that after they go back to Godhead, there is no birth, old age, disease, death. This is one simple understanding. Now, deeper understanding comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, where Rupa Goswami gives an example. Like suppose you have a thread, and if you burn the thread, like if you keep a thread on a table and you burn that thread, then what will you see? You will see ash of thread exactly like as if the thread is there. But as soon as you will touch it, you will feel that, oh, it's not thread, it's just ash. It will just fly in the air. So Rupa Goswami says from distance, you may see, oh, this devotee is having disease. This devotee is dying. This devotee is old. But for a devotee, it is just ash. It's not the real suffering. So externally, we may see that, oh, he's suffering. But internally, he's not suffering. This is a deeper understanding. But external understanding is, if he goes back to Godhead, there is no birth, old age, disease, death in the spiritual world. So that way also we can understand.
So this point is not like that it is applicable for himself, but it is what he visions all the things happening around him.
Sorry?
So like this point is not applicable on himself, but it is about the vision that he has about the living beings and living entities around him.
No, it's applicable to him also, Prabhu. Like for a pure devotee, there is no clutches of birth, old age, disease, death. They go through these transitions, but these transitions of life don't affect pure devotee. That is the understanding. Okay?
It's not like we see the disciples of Prabhupada, or even when we see Srila Prabhupada. So like they're also getting old. By body, they are suffering some kind of issues, health issues. We understand that they can easily transgress all of these issues. But still on the material platform, when we see them, to understand this point, we see that these things are happening with them also.
Yeah, therefore I gave this example of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami tells, from distance as third observer, we are seeing that they are suffering. And why this happens, Rupa Goswami tells that also. Rupa Goswami tells, see, they are acharyas. Pure devotees are acharyas. Acharyas means their every action is an example. Suppose you have never seen a devotee being old. You have never seen a devotee being deceased. And you are deceased. Then what you will say? Oh, devotees never get disease, therefore they can chant 16 rounds. If they will become sick like me, then they will not chant also. We can easily tell that. If devotees never grow old, we will tell, oh, they are always young, therefore they are dancing and chanting. If they become old like me, then they will realize that what is old age means. To set an example, these acharyas go through these transitions, but they are not suffering like us. That is the difference. Like a prisoner going to jail and a officer going to jail is not same. Both are going through jail, but prisoner is going to suffer, officer is going to do his job. So that is the difference. Okay. So next, 13th is satisfaction. Okay, satisfaction we discussed. 14th, austerity and penance. A devotee voluntarily accepts some austerities, some hardships for higher purpose. And Prabhupada gives example like rising early and taking bath, fasting on recommended days, like now Nrsimha Jayanti is coming, and the favorite festival of all ISKCON devotees, Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi is coming. So all these festivals are there to give us chance to do little austerities. And the Prabhupada said, biggest austerity is to cooperate with devotees. So all these austerities devotee voluntarily takes so that he can progress in his spiritual life. Then charity, dhanam, charity. One should learn to give. Prabhupada told 50% of income to Krishna consciousness. That is most ideal. And that also should be given to the deserving candidate who can engage it in Krishna's service. The basic principle of charity, okay, if you cannot give 50%, simple formula. You know how much charity we should give? We should give that much charity which pinches little bit in heart. You understand that? Like suppose you have 2 lakh rupees and you give 1000 rupees in charity. You say, okay, anyway, I have 2 lakh rupees. 1000 I give, no problem. You should give that much charity, you'll feel little pain. Oh, my out of 2 lakh, 1 lakh gone. I'll feel little pain in heart. Now, some people are so miser, they may feel pain even for 10 rupees. That is different. But actually, the principle of charity is you should feel little pain. Why that pain is needed? Because that is the purification aspect of charity. See, we should understand that this money is not mine. I am working for Krishna. I am working for my Guru. So my money should be in the service of Prabhupada's mission. So that feeling should be there in devotee. So charity is a very important aspect of Krishna consciousness. And then last is fame. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, what is the greatest fame? Greatest fame is to be devotee of Krishna. So that way, a devotee is all famous. So these qualities are found in devotees of Krishna, and Krishna is saying that I am the source of these qualities. So now somebody may say that, okay, Krishna, you are the source of qualities, or you are source of somebody, some people also. We have seen your source of material world. We have also seen your source of different qualities. So you are only giving birth to some materials and subtle things, or you're giving birth to any people also. So Krishna said, no, I give birth to people also. This is described in verse 6 and 7. Usha Mataji, can you read? Translation to verse 6. Okay, before that, Shri Radha Kripa Kataksh Mataji, you have something?
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Sorry. Yes, I have a question. If Krishna is the source, yes, Krishna is the source of all qualities. There's no question of that. But how do we understand the source of envy and
Krishna is
the
source of that
bad
also.
qualities?
Krishna is source of that qualities also. Krishna
So
says,
how
actually,
can
this
we
is described
understand that
in,
it's a bad quality?
because Krishna says in Bhagavatam, these qualities are backside of Krishna. They are the darker side of the creation. And although Krishna creates them, because some adamant souls want those qualities. So Krishna is given free will. Now soul is desiring certain things, Krishna is providing it. But he is also teaching through scriptures, through devotees, what is good and what is bad. So it's not that everything coming out of Krishna is we should accept. Like in Vishnu Chakravarti gives this example. Like there's so many plants. Some plants are medicinal, some plants give fruits, some plants gives grains, but some plants are poisonous. Like Dhatura is poisonous. Now, we can't say that, oh, after all, everything is coming from earth. Let me just eat any plant. No, we have to be selective. Which one is good, which one is not good. In the same way, Krishna is source of everything. But we have to understand through scriptures what is good, what is bad. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Usha Mataji, can you read?
Yes, the 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages, and the Manush, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually...
Yeah.
I have to continue?
Yeah, continue.
Yes. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind enrages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt.
So Krishna already told about how he's source of the creation. He already told in the beginning of this chapter how he's the source of all divine qualities. And now he's telling how he is the source of all mankind. Like 25 great sages, 4 Chatushkumar, the 4 Kumaras, then 7 great sages, Saptarishis, and 14 Manus. In a one day of Brahma, 14 Manus come. So all come from Krishna. They are called patriarchs of living entities. So all they take birth from Krishna. And they are the reason for further progeny, further population in the material world. So Krishna is Prapitama. Brahma is called grandfather because he is the father of 4 Kumaras, 7 sages, etc. But Krishna is called Prapitama, great grandfather. because Krishna is the source of Brahma also. So like that, Krishna is source of Brahma and all other sages. And when one understands that Krishna is directly the source of creation, source of all qualities, source of all living entities, then naturally one engage in his unalloyed devotional service, which is covered in the next 4 verses. Next 4 verses are very, very important. These verses are Chatushloki Gita. They are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. As we know that our whole Vedic literature flows into 3 channels. One is Sambandha, one is Abhideya, and one is Prayojan. What is Sambandha? Sambandha means our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Sambandha. Abhideya means the process of devotional service, how we approach the Supreme Lord. And Prayojan means the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord. What result we get by practicing devotional service, that is love of God. So these 4 verses also can be categorized into these 3 categories. Like 8th verse is Sambandha. Krishna is telling Sambandha. 9th verse talks about Abhideya, what devotees do. And 10th and 11th verses are Krishna's reciprocation to his devotees. So let us see them one by one. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Now, please mark these 4 verses, and I request devotees to remember these 4 verses. Even if you forget whole Bhagavad Gita, at least these 4 verses you should remember. They are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. See, by remembering verses, you can remember the philosophy very easily. Otherwise, to remember the text is very difficult. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Prabhavo means master. So, everything, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything. Whatever we see, whatever we cannot see, everything emanates from Krishna. And iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So when one understands this, Prabhupada is giving so many references in this purports, how Krishna is the source of everything. He is giving references from Gopal Tapni Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad, Maha Upanishad, Moksha Dharma, Varha Puran. So many, because some people may say, look, I don't accept Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, they are a reference from Upanishad. I don't accept Upanishad. Okay, there is reference from Puran. So everything Prabhupada is covering there, and he's establishing how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when one understands this, he naturally engages in his devotional service. Buddha Bhava Samanvita, another meaning is, Bhava means devotional service. So one who understands Krishna can develop his loving devotion to Krishna also. And what is that devotional process is described in next verse. Machitta mata gata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Again, very important verse. What devotees do, what is devotional service, is described in this verse. Machitta. Machitta. Chitta and chit are different. Chit means knowledge. Chitta means consciousness. Chitta. So when our consciousness is absorbed in Krishna, Chitta, Machitta, Mata Gata Prana. This is also very important point. Mata Gata Prana. Like where our life is. Where our life is? In food. So we are Annagata Prana. Food Gata Prana. Food will not be there, we will die. But devotees, they are Krishna Gata Pran. Their life and soul is Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. And when these devotees meet, what do they do? They discuss about Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. What they discuss? They discuss the pastimes of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, the compassion of Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. Kathayantascha mam nityam. Always they are engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord. And tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They relish this process and they're very satisfied. They don't desire any external supplement to their life. Braja Sevaki Mataji, can you read the translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
So these devotees, what exactly they do in devotional service, Krishna is summarizing in one verse. Namarasita Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the verse 8th one, firstly, it was written that Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord.
Yes.
Then it was mentioned that Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born.
Yes.
So is it the Rudras which is mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, when in each Brahmanda, first when Brahma is born, from the forehead of Brahma, Rudras are born, 11 Rudras. So that happens in different universes. And in the original Lord Shiva comes from the Supreme Lord himself, which is described in Brahma Samhita, like curd comes from milk.
Okay. And Prabhu, in the 9th verse, this was very nectarian also, but these are the lines, the spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahm Jyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Golok Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests here. So, it is actually, whenever I read these lines, I really like them, but can you just explain a little bit? Like,
This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is described how Brahmanda Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So fortunate living entities, they get chance to practice Krishna consciousness. Now Bij means seed. You have got the seed, but then you have to cultivate it. So a devotee cultivates that seed. How he grows that seed? By watering it. What is that water? Shravan and Kirtan, which is described in this verse. Bodhayanta parasparam, kathayantascha mam nityam. So hearing and chanting. This is the watering the seed. Now when you water the seed, it fructifies. Now the seed is of creeper, not tree. Tree has a limited height. Tree can only grow to limited height. And tree can stand alone. But a creeper can grow for long distance. And another aspect of creeper is, creeper always needs support to grow. So devotional service is never independent. Devotional service always needs support to grow, support of devotees, support of the Guru, support of the Parampara. So like that, with support of devotees and with watering of Shravan and Kirtan, this creeper starts to grow. Now, growing of creeper doesn't mean that from our nose and from our ears, some creeper will come out. Growing of creeper means our devotion will grow. Now this devotion, which is now in the conditioned state, we are in the conditioned state. This devotional service will become so pure that it will rise above the desires of material nature. It will not have any desire for heavenly planets. That means the creeper crossed heavenly planets. It will not have any desire for upper planetary system like Brahmaloka also. That means the creeper crossed Brahmaloka. The devotee is not attached to the material world itself. That means the creeper crossed the coverings of the material nature also. Now it is in Brahmajyoti. Crossing the Brahmajyoti means now I don't have desire to become liberated also. It is up to Krishna. I don't want that personal ambition. That means this creeper has crossed Brahmajyoti. And finally the creeper reached the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, means no more material desire. Now only pure devotional service to Radha and Krishna. Then the fruits come. And what is the fruit? Love of Godhead. But one thing, we have to keep watering. If we forget watering, the creeper will not grow. It will not reach Radha Krishna. And even if he reaches Radha Krishna, in order to get the fruit, we have to still keep on watering. It's not that now I become pure, I don't need hearing and chanting. No. Then also we need hearing and chanting. So therefore, Prabhupada is quoting it from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. This was very nectarian.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Amal Arjun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, what you beautifully described now, it is compared to Vraj Prem, no, Prabhuji? Is it Vraj Prem or?
Yes, it goes to Vrindavan, in Golok Vrindavan, and the fruits are love of God, pure love of God, love of Vrindavan, not mixed. It's pure love. So now we see how Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. This is described in next two verses, 10.10 and 10.11. This verse is also very important verse. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti. I just remembered one thing. I recently went to Amritsar and one devotee is doing Bhakti Sastri there. You know what he did? He went to a shop who sells this wallpapers and he customized a wallpaper for his bedroom. What he did, in whole Bhakti Shastri, there are 52 verses to remember. So what he did, he told this person that you design a wallpaper with all these 52 verses. And he got one full wall in front of his bed, in his bedroom, with all these 52 verses. So I went to his house, he showed me, Prabhuji, when I lie down, I just look at these verses. And every day I'm remembering few of them. So like that, we can endeavor few different things, whatever helps to remember these verses.
Prabhuji, can we get a copy of that?
Yeah. He did. He must have a copy. So very nice concept. I like that concept. So this verse is also such verse which we should remember, and it's a very hope-giving verse. Krishna says, Tesham, those. Who those? Those who are practicing previous verse. Bodhayanta parasparam. Those. Satata yuktana. Those who are engaged constantly. Not Janmashtami devotee. You know Janmashtami devotee? Yes, I come to temple. When you come to temple, only Janmashtami. This is Janmashtami devotee. Then we have Ekadashi devotee. They will only see in on Ekadashi. So this is not Satata Yuktanam. Those who are constantly engaged. In what? In Prajalpa? No. Bhajatam. In serving Krishna. Those who are constantly engaged in serving Krishna. How? Grudgingly? No. Priti Purvakam. Lovingly. Out of love. Every word is so important. Tesham, those. Satata Yuktanam, constantly engaged, Bhajatam, in service, Priti Purvakam, with love. These two lines is condition. Then what Krishna does to such devotees? Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give them intelligence. Intelligence for what? Yena mam upayanti te, to come back to me. Because Krishna is missing such devotees. Krishna wants such devotees back. So Krishna gives them intelligence to come back to them. This is called buddhi yoga or Krishna consciousness. Highest sign of intelligence. Krishna is giving this intelligence to devotee, how he comes back. Like I think I was sharing with all of you. One time, Srila Prabhupada was asked that how do you select your leaders? You know? Then Prabhupada said, Krishna tells me. Then Rameshwar Maharaj was standing next to Prabhupada. So he tried to explain the press, reporters, that actually Prabhupada wants to tell that Krishna is in the form of his scriptures. And in the scriptures, we have so many qualities of leaders. And accordingly, we elect our leaders. Prabhupada gave a very serious look to Rameshwar Prabhu. And Prabhupada told reporters, no, that is for him. To me, Krishna tells directly whom to select. This is pure devotee. Krishna directs them personally. Dadami. Dadami means Ami. Ami means I personally give. Not that through some channel. So Krishna personally guides such devotees. What are the conditions? Satata Yuktanam, constantly engaged. Second, in service. Third, Priti Purvakam, with love. So all these three conditions should be there. Okay, who will read? Bhutva Prabhu, would you like to read the translation? Please unmute.
Yeah, for text 10.
Yes.
Okay. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
Yeah. So this is the very hope-giving verse. And then Krishna is telling another verse which is connected to this only. Tesham evanu kampartham. Same continuation of the same theme. Aham agyanajam tama nashyami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasuta. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So all ignorance in the heart, which is accumulated since lifetimes, Krishna cleanses it. Krishna eliminates that darkness through the torch of knowledge. This is special mercy of Krishna on his devotees. So these 4 verses are very, very important in our life. I have a homework for you that these 4 verses, what you need to do is you have to study them with perspective of personal and preaching application. Analyze these verses, highlight the main Sanskrit words, and select those points which can help you to enhance your personal spiritual practice and which can be used in preaching also. Like, yes, I serve Krishna, but I fight with devotees also. So this is not Priti Purvaka, area to work. I serve very lovingly, but sometimes, whenever I have mood, once in a week, no, every day. Satatam. So like that. Yes, I meet devotees, bodhayanta parasparam, but what we talk, not kathayantascha maam nityam. We talk about ill of others. Prajalpa. No. So there can be many, many areas which we can analyze in our life and enhance our spiritual practice. So please study these verses nicely in this light, that how we can enhance our spiritual practice and also our devotional service. Let us conclude by reading this quotation of Srila Prabhupada. Devadev Prabhu, can you read?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
This is the actual essence of Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartati. I am the origin of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo and mata sarvam. Sarvam means including Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Sarvam. Mata sarvam parvatati iti matva. One who understands this. Bhajante so just. The bhajana is for whom? Iti matva. When one understands that Krishna is the origin of everything, even the original demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, when one understands perfectly this thing, then his bhajana is perfect.
So one can serve Krishna better if he understands these concepts. Then it will help him to enrich, enhance his devotional service. Hare Krishna. So we have a second part of this chapter, but I don't want to start it now because I will not be able to finish it in half an hour. So I'll start it tomorrow itself, and then we complete the chapter tomorrow. So I will request devotees, they can at least revise these 10 verses, and tomorrow we study the rest of it. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Hare Krishna.